Our top story tonight is something that may be familiar. It is the intensifying New York criminal probe into the Trump organization. It's back in the news because the man at the center of it all, longtime Trump org CFO Alan Weisselberg, you see him right here, taped exclusively by MSNBC outside of his Manhattan home this morning, where he ducked any questions about the case.
I have no comment.
You feel pressure from Mr. Trump?
I have no comment. Sir, I have no comment. I'm going to pick up my grandchild from school right now. I have no comment.
Thank you, sir.
Now, journalists and many other observers would like to hear what Weisselberg has to say instead of a no comment. People would love to get any comment or even denials or whatever he feels is true about these allegations that he has criminal exposure. But what you just saw is also what most legal experts say is the most legally prudent course. Say nothing in public when you have an open grand jury probe grinding on. And there are new clues showing the grand jury probe grinding towards Weisselberg and Trump, who make pretty much all the big money decisions for the company. We know that. We also know that because a longtime Trump org executive, Jeffrey McConney, who directly reports to Weisselberg, just went under oath before this New York grand jury. There was news that he would last week. Now it's official that he has. Prosecutors scouring potential tax, bank, and insurance fraud theories. The pressure, all part of the wider aggressive effort to turn that CFO you just saw into a cooperating witness. With these new developments, I want to get right to it. I have former federal prosecutor John Flannery here and Democratic strategist and MSNBC analyst Juanita Tolliver. Good to see you both. John, you heard it there. No comment from someone who looks like he is still adjusting to just how much legal and public pressure there will be on him, the CFO.
Enormous. There's really a triumvirate. That is to say that these three men were very close. That is Trump, Weisselberg, and McConney, who's the new witness who's testified, which means he's gone in and he's immune. And so only if he doesn't tell the truth does he get in trouble. And in depositions in 2015, Weisselberg basically said he handled these expenses on a daily amount. And either Trump would ask him directly to send money for some purpose or other, but Weisselberg said he much preferred the fact that there would be a clearance by memos for every substantial amount of money they transferred, and either he, Weisselberg, or Trump would check that note off. So that's a really tight link. And this is a man who's handling accounts payable, accounts receivable, and going back to the 2015 investigation involving the charity, we get to learn a lot about their relationship. So I'd say that this guy's a blockbuster witness. He could do it alone. They'd like to have Weisselberg, I think, but maybe they'd like to have Weisselberg standing there with Trump. That's speculation, of course, because we don't know all the evidence they have. But bringing this heavy hitter in this early is a substantial statement, I think.
Yeah, I appreciate that, John, because this is something we've all been living through these news cycles together. And this is one of those times where a couple weeks ago, if somebody heard, another quote-unquote Trump investigation, as a news viewer, you might say, okay, well, and what's really going to happen and what's really going on? How far is it going to go? This is now hitting the people who Donald Trump says make all the money calls and who he has previously said he's loyal to. If you are a skeptic of Donald Trump, you might note that loyalty sometimes comes with other baggage. If you're a supporter of Donald Trump, you might say, okay, great. All the guys he's tight with are in the grand jury box. But just briefly, John, this is from the Trump Think Like a Billionaire book, one of those many sequels to The Art of the Deal, where he said that McConney was doing a terrific job. Quote, he looks out for my bottom line as if the money were his own. John.
Strong statement. And what it tells you is that any big decision, including those that are not kosher, shall we say, he's going to be standing there dealing with them. And if Trump is asking him directly to do something, he's trying to have as few people know about what they're doing as is possible. But the trouble with any financial transaction is the check continues to exist. It's copied a million times at banks and other places, that there are internal memos, that there are phone calls. There are all these things to corroborate what McConney may say about their dealings. Tax returns, if you're going to have a difference in accounting for one purpose and then you're going to inflate the value for another. We have the transactions involving, the payoff for the lady in waiting that was a campaign violation, but also probably has tax implications. So you have a number of things, and this is a pretty terrible storm that they find themselves in. Yeah. And they're surrounded by documents and records. So that's dangerous for a defendant.